everyone! So, I'm actually pretty busy at the moment.
Adventure Brigade!
I am catching up with some old friends that I have not seen in years.
We're fighting.
Yes, Captain?
How a beach? A nice beach?
Yes.
We had a lot planned for each other, but one thing was a Star Wars-inspired experience. So I threw together this Jedi-inspired look a couple days ago, and I thought I would show you the process. I'm on my phone 'cause this is boring. I don't feel like work today. Before I get back to editing, what game will I play? Well, it's a good thing we have a returning sponsor on this channel today. And when I asked if I could write a song for the ad, they said, okay. There is an app I must proclaim is unlike any other game. 3 match games just aren't the same. It's called Emoji Blitz. So many characters to collect, each one with their own unique effect. And when their faces they connect, you win Emoji Blitz. So many characters you can see from Pixar, Star Wars, and Disney. And when you unlock them, you can use them in your messages. Like actually. On your tablet or mobile device. Wouldn't it just be so nice to play Emoji Blitz? You can download it right now. The link below will show you how. I should probably get back to editing now, but thanks Emoji Blitz. Thanks Emoji Blitz. Anyway, so I had very little time to make this, and I needed multiple days worth of looks, so I decided to make some overpieces that could be worn over anything. But there was one specific element that I was working off of. I saw Yuna in Final Fantasy X, and I was like, I want those sleeves. Those gravity-defying sleeves.
What can I do for you?
Then I drew out what I was envisioning in my head, and I handed it to an artist friend and said, can I pay you to do this but good? This is a process I go through whenever a character needs official art, or I need to show a design to someone else, but it's also handy to me to be able to clearly visualize what it is I was going for in my head. I wanted to challenge myself and save some money, so this was the first costume I made from thrifted bedsheets and curtains, full-on Sound of Music style. I did get matching thread and eyelets from the sewing store though. I also picked up this belt. Sorry, that's the first time I'm talking this morning. I also picked up this belt that I thought would look cute. It's an upside to having all of my costumes follow the same color scheme, as it's really easy to shop for stuff I can use later. So I like to make my own patterns. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube teaching you how to make your own with scrap fabric. Now, if all of my sewing material wasn't in storage, perhaps I could have spare fabric. But no, we had limited bed sheets and garbage bags. If you have any scrap fabric, use scrap fabric, because this bag was slippy, sliding all over the place. It was a mess, just like me. So I'll place the garbage bags over my body and trace around where I want the piece. Or I'll trace on clothes I already own. This is one item though that I absolutely could not pattern without. Believe me, I tried and failed, and then had to fish my old one from the storage. A dress form. I pinned the pattern to my dress form and then just cut around where I want the pieces to be. If I had cut a little too much, I just taped more garbage bags to them. This was a cut once, measure once kind of project. I always test the pieces out on myself as well because the dress form isn't quite my measurements. Then I cut the pattern out of bed sheets. I was also so scared to use the bed sheets because I never seemed to have enough fabric before, but I had more than enough and with some to spare. I just had to be really smart about where I was cutting. Leave room for seam allowance as well. I leave like a ½ inch wherever I need to connect the pieces. I also wanted some darts, or folds in the fabric right where I was going to put my belt. I thought it would have the illusion of fabric being gathered while still being fit to my form. So you make a line where the fold is. just run the triangle underneath your sewing machine and tie it off at the end. The sleeves were real rushed. I just measured out how long and wide I wanted them to be, did the math for the measurements of the fabric, and cut once. It's a similar method to an old video of mine where I teach you how to make a cloak. Far more eloquently than this. Since this was a rush job, the seams are not pretty. I just folded the fabric and sewed along the line. I jokingly called them Party City costume seams. So for the belt, I moved from garbage bags to literally just garbage. But the process for the patterning is the same.
No time for questions, follow my dreams instead. Oh. Okay.
The belt was intended to have boning in it, but that would have taken too long, so I just accepted that it wouldn't quite be as stiff and hold its shape as much as I wanted. This piece I sewed with lining, so the seams were cleaner, but it was way more work. So you sew the lining to the outer pieces with the seams on the outside, and then flip it all inside out and sew it shut. I also sewed it all together and then decided I didn't like the seam being in the middle and took it all out and started again.
Oh, ooh, careful.
I wanted it to lace up like a corset to give me those slight cottagecore vibes I always crave. So I hammered in some eyelets. I cut a little hole in the fabric, put two pieces together, and then hammered it closed like a blacksmith.
Yeah, this one definitely turned out a little uneven because the fabric ripped this way unexpectedly, but whatever, it just needs to stay together.
For the rest of the sleeve, I decided it would be easier and more practical than Yuna's gravity-defying sleeves if mine were just detachable. I also thought it would be handy if the sun got too hot, I could just take off the sleeves, and it would be reminiscent of those, like, fantasy detachable sleeves. Anyway, sewed those all together, laced everything with some white ribbon that I melted the ends of so it wouldn't fray, and ta-da! Do not look too close at it! Seriously, the point of this costume was to look good in photos, and you know what? It does. It did the job, and I had a lot of fun at the Star Wars-inspired experience, so who knows, when I have the time and place to tackle it again, I would love to revamp this costume and give it the love I intended to give it. But this was a fun speed build. I had never made anything quite this fast before. Thank you to Disney Emoji Blitz for sponsoring this video. Thank you to my Patreons. Without you, I would be completely lost. And thank you for watching this video. I will hopefully see you soon. Drink some water. Okay, bye.